Okay, I'd like to call to order the regular council meeting of November 9th, 2020. Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Present.
Mr. Sensi.
Here.
Mr. Consolmagno.
Here.
Ms. Gibbons.
Here.
Mr. Hannon.
Present.
Mr. Harrison. Present. Mr. McLean.
Here.
Mr. Mowry.
Here.
Mr. O'Brien.
Here.
We have all members present, I believe. Mr. Harrison, just for everybody's information, is trying to connect and having some technical difficulties. At this time, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, I would like to turn to chair announcement. Executive session of council was conducted on October 26, 2020 for police, personnel, and legal issues. At this time, I would like to turn to the reports of the officials. We have the library director's report. Hearing none, can we turn to the police chief's report and Chief O'Connor?
Okay, we still will not have any Crime Watch meetings for the foreseeable future. So follow us on Facebook and we'll have updates and information about BPPD and about crime. And we will post people's heads if they commit crime. Actually, I think someone might have been posted just this evening. Check it out. Check it out.
Was that Mr. O'Brien?
He's too quick for us. So I don't have much, but I do want to say tomorrow's the Marine Corps birthday. Happy birthday to all Marines out there. The 11th is Veterans Day, so if you know any veterans, thank them for their service. And finally, we wish everyone to have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Questions?
Thank you very much. Any questions? Hearing none, can we turn to the fire chief's report?
Thanks, Mr. Mowry. It's Deputy Chief Bob Brown this evening. We're here to give you our report for the month of October. For the month of October, we had a total of 38 fire calls. We had one structure fire, one electrical condition, one vehicle accident, 4 natural gas leaks, 5 good intent calls, 6 CO alarms, and 20 fire alarms for a total of 38 for the month of October. The chief put together a little recap for the last 3 years for our calls running from January 1 through October 31st. In the year 2018, we had a total of 458 calls during that time frame. Last year in 2019, we had 530. And this year, in the unique year of 2020, we had a total of 394. So our volume was down, and talking to a lot of the surrounding companies, that it holds true to form for everywhere. Initially, when it all started, we thought it was going to be up, but I think they just didn't do anything, so it in turn reduced our call volume down a little bit. A couple other items. A week ago, we turned the clocks back. Hopefully everybody remembered to change the smoke detector batteries and carbon monoxide batteries. If you didn't, just a gentle reminder to go ahead and do that. And finally, we will have Christmas coming up, so be sure when you put your decorations up, use the proper extension cords, watch how many strands you run together, and just be real safe during the holiday season. And I'll also echo Chief O'Connor and wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving and upcoming holiday season. And unless there's any questions, that is all I have.
Any questions? Hearing none, thank you very much. At this time, can we turn to the municipal manager's report? And I believe he's also going to be presenting the mayor's report tonight.
Isn't it the mayor's birthday today, Tim?
I think it is. Happy birthday to the mayor.
Happy birthday, Jack.
So on behalf of Mayor Allen, I want to thank everyone that was involved in the Halloween parade last Saturday, especially our Public Works Department. It was truly incredible to see so many of our residents out enjoying the parade. If you have been following our Municipal Kindness Project, we had 19 entries submitted for various acts of kindness. All kindness project submissions will receive a special kindness certificate from Mayor Allen at a later date. A special video highlighting those recognized for their kindness will be aired on BPTV, and additional information can be also found on our municipal website at www.bethelpark.net on the Bethel Park Kindness Project page. I would like to take a minute and recognize our sidewalk chalk winners who will receive a special kindness certificate signed by Mayor Allen, as well as a Dairy Queen gift certificate. Jill Meyer Potonik, Stephen Moses, Mia Hogue, Tessa Brom, and Julia Kim Wirtz. We'd also like to recognize the winners of the 2020 Halloween House Decoration Contest. In Ward 1, there are 2 winners. Co-winner number 1 is the Cunahan and Cortez residence at 5431 California Avenue. Also co-winner is the Fairhead residence at 5540 Clark Avenue. And Ward 2, we have the Villela residence at 5900 King School Road. And Ward 3, we have the Fabus residence at 844 Hershauer Drive. And Ward 4 winner is the Berry residence at 494 N Street. Ward 5 winner is the Smith residence at 3524 Valley Drive. The Ward 6 winner is the Hartman and Cunahan residence at 5798 Wilson Drive. The Ward 7 has 2 winners. Co-winner number 1 is the Leggenzoff residence at 336 Chespire Drive. And also Ward 7 co-winner is the Rochling residence at 3051 Eastview Road. Ward 8 winner is the Peck residence at 174 Meadowbrook Drive. And finally, the Ward 9 winner is the Quinn residence at 216 Micah Court. Mayor Allen would like to remind everyone about our annual Christmas lighting contest this year. He will have more details as we get closer to Christmas, so stay tuned to our municipal website and our Facebook page. And also don't forget our light up night on December 2nd. We're going to be lighting up our Christmas tree, so come on out to the community center. That concludes the mayor's report. I'd like to take a couple minutes and kind of close out some notes for the year. As 2020 comes to a close, we have certainly reflected on how the coronavirus has impacted our community. But more importantly, we need to remember the generosity, commitment, and compassion shown by our residents, businesses, and community organizations as they work together to keep our community safe and strong. While we bore the brunt of this worldwide pandemic together, we remain vigilant and we must not let our guard down. Please keep doing what you're doing out there to protect yourself and your neighbors. As we look back on 2020, there have been so many positive highlights and things that we've accomplished as a community, including food drives, mass drives, blood drives, flu shot clinics, a variety of other fundraiser and community outreach projects to benefit those in need in Bethel Park. We revamped our recreation summer camp program to partner with the local child care center to create a safe summer program so parents can return to work, and so their children can be safe. We modified how we run recreation programs to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents. Recently, we conducted a Halloween parade, which may become a new Bethel Park tradition. We're still working on that one. We ran a Bethel Park Kindness Project, recognizing those who've shown acts of kindness in our community during this challenging time. And please, as we move into 2021, we may not know the challenges we'll encounter, but rest assured, we will meet these changing needs of our community. Our partnerships will continue to flourish with our community leaders, organizations, businesses, and residents to help whenever and wherever we can. If you remember, one of my early goals was to run every road in Bethel Park in my first year. Well, coronavirus came along and kind of shortened or extended that time frame. But I can now say I've run every road in our community with only just a couple of exceptions. Those are a little difficult to run down. If you see me jogging through your neighborhoods, please come on out and say hi, run with me, get a bike. Let me know what's going on in your neighborhood, please. I would like to see those. I'd like to hear them. And in closing this, I have one special treat at night. Can you please come up here, Ms. Dolinar? I'd like to highlight one special municipal employee. She's going to hate me for this tomorrow. But this is the individual right here who planned, resourced, and executed our Halloween parade. I'd like to say thank you. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It meant a lot to our families, it meant a lot to our residents, and I'd like to let everybody know, everybody who participated in that Halloween parade was volunteers. So everybody that you saw that day, there was people that was giving money, and one of our own Public Works employees, 5,000?
Almost 4,885.
One of our own Public Works employees, on his own time, raised $4,800 for that parade. That is a monumental effort, and all for Bethel Park. But it is all because of the leadership of this individual right here. So thank you. Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Christian. At this time, can we turn to the approval of the minutes in Mr. Hannon?
The first one is the regular meeting minutes of last month. I move that we approve the minutes from the October 12th, 2020 regular council meeting.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hannon and second by Ms. Gibbons that we approve the minutes from the 10/12/2020 council meeting. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno,
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison, Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. Hannon.
The next item is the minutes from the public hearing of October 26th. I move that we approve the minutes from the October 26th, 2020 public hearing.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Hannon and second by Ms. Gibbons that we approve the minutes from the 10/26/2020 public hearing. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno,
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. At this time, I'd like to turn to the resident comments section for non-agenda items. We have no residents signed up to speak. At this time, can we turn to general policy and finance?
Bills and payrolls.
Oh, let's turn to approval of the bills and payrolls. My apologies. Mr. Hannon.
I move that we approve the bill list number 110920 in the amount of $4,722,684.25.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Hannon and second by Ms. Gibbons to approve the bill list number 110920 in the amount of $4,722,684.25. Any questions on this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno,
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes. Motion passes 8-0. At this time, I'd like to turn to the resident comment section yet again. We have no residents signed up to speak. And hearing none, can we now turn to general policy and finance and Mr. McLean.
Thank you, Mr. President. First item under General Policy and Finance is the approval of the 2021 municipal meeting schedule. I move that we approve the 2021 meeting schedule.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McLean and second by Ms. Gibbons that we approve the 2021 meeting schedule. Any discussion of this item? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Sensi.
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons.
Yes.
Mr. Hannan.
Yes.
Mr. McLean.
Yes.
Mr. Mowry.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. McLean.
Next item is the ordinance adopting the 2021 municipal budget. I move that we approve ordinance number 11-9-20A, adopting the 2021 municipal budget.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McLean and second by Ms. Gibbons that we approve ordinance number 11-9-20A, the 2021 municipal budget. Any discussion of this item? I'll briefly give a summary overview. We have good news and we have good news tonight. Good news is the municipal millage rate, which we'll be voting on next, is staying the same. And also, the other good news is our sewer rates are actually going to be staying the same in this budget that we're adopting. We're going to continue to monitor the sewer rates. As we talked last month, we did do a bond issue recently, but we believe that we will be okay at least for the next several months, and no increase will be needed. As far as the municipal budget goes for 2021, I'd like to thank Lisa, our new finance director, and Mr. McLean and everybody that spent a lot of time. As one of my former colleagues on council used to say, the budget's a guideline. Well, this year, it's truly a guideline. We're going to finish up. We don't know financially. We're going to be down a little bit in collections on earned income tax. We're still tabulating where we're finishing on the property taxes. But what we've done since the pandemic, we have cut back on some of the things, not the essentials, but some of the other things where we felt in 2020 we could cut back. We're budgeting flat revenues for 2021. There's a lot of uncertainty out there, but the budget does include a few key things. The road program is going to continue at the level, and we'll be voting on going out to bid here in a few minutes. But the infrastructure, we're going to spend a little bit of money on the IT. It's something desperately needed. That's going to be probably the number one thing we're going to do in 2021. We're also going to, continue to update our facilities and our equipment. But rest assured, we're going to continue to monitor our spending and monitor our revenues. If we have a light winter, it may open up to be able to do everything we budgeted. Just because it's in the budget doesn't necessarily mean we're going to do it. We're going to keep a very close eye, or Lisa and Mr. McLean, on where we are on the revenue side, where we finish up 2020. So we're adopting it tonight, and there's a lot of good things with recreation, road programs, and equipment. Stay tuned month by month, because we're going to look at everything on a monthly basis to make sure that we have the sufficient revenues to cover our expenses. So at that point, is there any other discussion from council? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Absolutely yes.
Mr. Sensi.
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons.
Yes.
Mr. Hannan.
Yes.
Mr. McLean.
Yes.
Mr. Mowry.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. McLean.
Next item is adoption of the ordinance adopting the 2021 tax rates. I move that we approve ordinance number 11-9-20B, adopting the 2021 tax rates.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McLean and second by Ms. Gibbons that we approve ordinance number 11-9-20B, the 2021 tax rate. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Sensi.
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons.
Yes.
Mr. Hannan.
Yes.
Mr. McLean.
Yes.
Mr. Mowry.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. McLean.
There are no further agenda items under general policy and finance.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to health, safety, and welfare, and Mr. O'Brien?
Thank you, Mr. Murray. There are no items tonight under health, safety, and welfare.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Are there any additional items?
Mr. Murray, I have a few.
Mr. O'Brien.
I would like to talk about the Halloween parade. If I had to sum up with one word, it would be brilliant. in a time that is so difficult, so misunderstood, so questionable, a group of people decided to think outside the box, decided to find a way to reach out to the people of Bethel Park in a way that's never been done before, based on an idea of the Easter parade with Mr. Murray. Mrs. Dollar, this is just the best. Lawrence and Tim, it was outstanding. And to come up with an idea like this is one thing, but the monumental scale of this, the planning, the painting of the pumpkins on the street, which they wouldn't let me have the stencil or the spray paint, which I wouldn't let me have it either. And to process all this, along with Dave Cable, and if I forgot somebody, I'm so sorry, but to put off 2 separate parades, running all over town, and trying to let people know when it was coming so they could be there, the people were very, very, very pleased and very happy with this effort. And an individual to go raise all that money. And I know we ran out of candy, but it's just like filling a salt truck up at the beginning of the route. Sometimes you make it, and sometimes you don't, depending on how much snow. I'd just like to say thank you. And then on Tuesday, we had an election, and my ward that I represent, the 6th ward, had a unique problem. All the districts were at one place. So at 7 in the morning, it was absolutely bedlam. I went up to the polling place, and I seen police cars everywhere on the street, and I said, oh, this must not be that good. Something is going on. And I called Mr. Meyer, and he was in touch, and it all worked out because people, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, were all just great. They honored each other's space. They honored each other's opinion and their right to vote. And they stood in line together, and they did their constitutional right of voting. I think it was wonderful. But on that day, there was a young lady who worked in 6-1. Her name was Sharon Mock. When I arrived there was somewhat of chaos because nobody knew, and if you've ever worked a polling place, you'll know that there's 3 districts. No one remembers what district they're in. So they're in all different lines, and if they wait an hour in the wrong line, it's chaos. She was trying to do the best that she had with her phone, and I happened to have an old street list, and I gave it to her, and we just worked it out along with all the people that were there trying to garnish people to vote for their candidates. They all jumped in as a concerted effort to help feed the people into the right lines. But this young lady went beyond that. Some gentleman was given a ride by one of the parties to the polls, but he didn't have a ride home. He didn't have a cell phone. She took it upon herself, and I found out after the fact, she took it upon herself to make sure this man had a ride home at her own expense because he exercised his right to vote, and she took that so very seriously. So she's my person of the week in the 6th ward. I never met the young lady before, but that was wonderful. Now, I'll move on to something else. Our good friends at the South Hills Elks, they've been with us through this pandemic, and they're doing some good work again. This Wednesday, November the 11th, between 3 and 8, they're offering free dinners, either to take out or in, for veterans. Anyone who accompanies the veteran, they will be asked for a $10 donation for the dinner. And then they're going one better. On Thursday, the 26th, 2020, the Lodge will be doing Thanksgiving dinners to families in our community at no charge. All dinners will just be to go, and they ask people to be considerate because, they only can make so many dinners. If you have to make reservations for this, so they'll let them know. And that would be the South Hills Elks, and their phone number is 412-831-0616. It's wonderful to see people stepping up. And last but not least, of course, it's Veterans Day this Thursday, as the chief so graciously reminded us. This Wednesday, The Veterans Memorial is beautiful. It's cleaned up very nicely. The flags are all honoring all services. And our good friends at Dupre's Nursery out in Finleyville, they donated all the mums in honor of our veterans for Veterans Day. So, Mr. Maury, that's all I have, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Are there any additional items?
Mr. President,
Dr. Campbell.
mirroring the esteemed Mark O'Brien's comments, we had a ball, an absolute ball for the Halloween parade, and I've heard nothing but the absolute most positive of comments across the board. I saw too many kids to count in costumes, anywhere from newborns being held to senior sneakers across the board. I saw many folks also making it a tailgating events. We saw couches in driveways with fire pots and fireplaces and grills. And I saw a number of signs also, thank you. We love Bethel Park. We love our fire department, our EMS. We love our police officers. And that sense of community that came from that was brilliant, absolutely stinking brilliant. And again, great thanks to Susie and the Public Works folks, of course, Lawrence and his administrating efforts as well. This is something I'd like to see continue for a number of years. And importantly, it didn't cost the municipality a dime. This didn't cost a dime. The volunteer work that was put into play, the funds that were raised to get and even buy things like candy, and the volunteer efforts for the folks to drive the vehicles, that's brilliant. That is just brilliant. I don't know how to describe any better than that. I'd like to throw in my 2 cents worth to keep this going every year. I love a parade. Thank you.
Now, one thing, just to follow up on the parade, Ms. Dolinar, and I really want to appreciate all the work the Public Works and the time all the employees did to participate, the fire department, the fire police, the police department, EMS, and everybody that participated, the local businesses. We teamed up with the Bethel Park Community Foundation for the fundraising effort. Well, we had one of our Public Works employees go out and raise some funds. We also did donations, so I appreciate what the Bethel Park Community Foundation and all the businesses in Bethel Park who either participated in the parade or donated to it. So we just want to thank everybody. And one unknown little fact, just a rumor now, I believe it was the gentleman sitting to my right that was wearing the chicken outfit.
Not the far right.
At this time, are there any additional items? At this time, can I turn to Planning and Zoning and Ms. Gibbons?
Bethel Pines partial security reduction. I move that we approve the Bethel Pines security reduction number 3 in the amount of $203,678.92 per the interim municipal planners memorandum dated November 5th, 2020.
Second?
There's a motion by Ms. Gibbons and second by Mr. Hannon that we approve the Bethel Pines security reduction number 3 in the amount of $203,678.92 per the interim municipal planners memorandum dated November 5th, 2020. This is the bond money or the money they put up to ensure the project gets completed. And when they hit certain levels of getting things done, we reimburse them the money that they put up. And I don't exactly know, but there's still a few $100,000 left that we still owe pending the completion of the project. Any additional comments? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Sensi.
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons.
Yes.
Mr. Hannon.
Yes.
Mr. McLean.
Yes.
Mr. Mowry.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Ms. Gibbons.
Chase Bank Bethel Park, application 2020-80866. I move that we approve application number 2020-0866, Chase Bank Major Land Development, per their interim municipal planners memorandum dated November 5th, 2020.
Second?
There's a motion by Ms. Gibbons and second by Mr. Hannon that we approve application number 2020-0866, Chase Bank Major Land Development per the interim municipal planners memorandum dated November 5th, 2020. Just for everybody's information, this is the grassy area next to Firestone on Route 88 in the Giant Eagle Walmart parking lot. There are plans to put a Chase Bank at that location if approved. Any other comments? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno,
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Ms. Gibbons.
Renda Salon, minor land development. I move that we approve the Renda Salon minor land development per the interim municipal planners memorandum dated November 5th, 2020.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Gibbons and second by Mr. Hannon that we approve the Renda Salon minor land development per the interim municipal planners memorandum dated November 5th, 2020. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno,
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Ms. Gibbons.
No additional agenda items under planning and zoning.
Thank you, Ms. Gibbons. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to Public Works and Maintenance and Mr. Consolmagno?
President Meyer, we have two items on the agenda. Resolution 11-9-20, active Allegheny grant. I move that we approve Resolution 11-9-20 for the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated November 2nd, 2020.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Consolmagno and second by Ms. Gibbons that we approve Resolution 11-9-20 per the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated November 2nd, 2020. Is there any discussion of this item? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno,
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. This Active Allegheny grant we're applying for is going to help us as part of the long-range plan. We did the walkability and mobility of Bethel Park. If we do get this grant, this will help in defray the cost of coming up with a master plan on developing our sidewalk program. Mr. Consolmagno.
2021 road program. I move that we approve moving forward with the 2021 road program per the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated November 4th, 2020.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Consolmagno, second by Ms. Gibbons, that we approve moving forward with the 2021 road program per the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated November 4th, 2020. This is just given approval to go out to bid for the road program for 2021. Is there any other discussion from council? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno,
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. Consolmagno.
President Murray, I have a couple more items to discuss. If you haven't been by Miners Park, there's been some new playground equipment that's been installed, along with the upgrade of our concession stand. There's still a punch list of a few items to complete there, but from the activity over the weekend, with the weather being 70 degrees, the children have just flocked to it and enjoyed that. But still a few items to clean up on those two items, but great addition to Ward 1. The other item is a Operation Feed a Neighbor. It's the 5th annual, and it goes to help any resident in the Bethel Park area. Diane Ford has spearheaded this. It's the 5th annual. Donations will be collected on Saturday, November 21st, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Spencer Family YMCA. I think you all know where that's located, next to the Baldwin High School, Bethel Park High School. They're collecting items. There's a shopping list. If you go to the website is FORDDA at info.processing.com, or give Diane a call at 412-523-8018 for information. It's been a great program to support the families during Thanksgiving. I also want to recognize any of the veterans on Veterans Day for November 11th. You know, they sacrificed a lot for us to have the freedom that we have today. And final thought was the Halloween parade that I ran. I had the distinguished honor of riding behind with our Director of Public Works, Susan, and it was just a great event. Just saw smiles from everyone and enjoyed the day with the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Consolmagno. Are there any additional items? When we adjourn, there's a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned, and good night, everyone. Thank you.